What's going on, everybody? My name's Tyler. This is Sean. We're Rendered Reality.
This guy's
Complete
back.
VR.
He's
I
back.
know.
He's
And
totally back. He's not dead, everybody. It's a
barely made it.
miracle.
Oh my gosh, dude. So even right before we're going on, I'm like sitting here and I had an itch in my eye and I'm rubbing it and I ripped a contact in my eye. So like minutes ago, I'm like scavenging, trying to get contacts out and pieces out and glasses
Disaster.
in. So I'm back,
You're
but
away
I'm
for like
excited.
2 episodes and you totally are lost now. Don't even know what you're doing anymore.
Oh, dude,
Complete
it's a
amateur.
mess. Yeah, but honestly, if I had to ruin them, at least I got to play a solid 3 hours of Half-Life Alyx,
Dude,
man.
freaking Half-Life Alyx. It is out. Today is the day we got to step inside of Half-Life Alyx. We got to play this game. Holy freaking crap. And let's talk about how long it took to unpack this thing, because that drove us
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
We were
yeah. I
ready
agree.
right at 1 o'clock and we're like, let's do,
Like,
I mean, minutes before I'm trying to hit the button. And so Tyler's like, he's calling me. He's freaking out. He's like, dude, it's taking forever to unpack. I'm like,
yeah,
what do you mean? Mine won't even download yet, because I had my Steam open. So I had to completely shut down Steam and then I hit download again. This was a couple minutes before 1 o'clock. And then,
right.
I mean, it literally took me about an hour to unpack the game.
Yeah, it took me a good 45 minutes probably, which I wasn't expecting. I mean, why pre-install it if, you have to do all that too? I understand they probably didn't want people to hack into it to know what was there. I get that. But at the same time,
Ridiculous.
like, if you're gonna do that and you know it has to unpack, drop it a little bit ahead of time. Like, come on, you're
Right, right.
killing us. Like, we've waited all this time now, but
And
hey, it's all right.
some
It
people in the
was,
Discord, I think Jim Hall said in the Discord, some people had luck with just canceling the install and
right. Yep.
re-downloading it, deleting the whole thing and
Yep.
re-downloading it. That actually went faster. And I was scared to death to do that because I knew it was telling me like an hour, and I was like, I'm going to be so mad if I do this. And then it goes to like 2 hours. And it's really funny because this helicopter right behind me makes me look like I have some crazy hair going on right here.
You do
see
have
that?
crazy hair, man.
But it's not really me. Look, it's a helicopter. I do have.
That's
I've had a
awesome.
headset
But
on my. I
dude,
probably still have the ring around my face from having the headset on for the last
how
3 hours.
how was it though when you walked out of that room and you looked out at this tower, all the light, everything?
Absolutely
I mean,
unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the
I
graphics in this
honestly,
game. I mean, this is AAA. I mean, the
yeah,
graphics in this game are on another level, really, from what I've seen in VR. Like the realism aspect. You're looking at the
yep.
characters and the people in the game. I don't know that I've
Oh,
seen people that look that real in VR before. I mean, usually it's a little
I
more.
agree.
I don't know, something about it. It's just unfreaking believable. One of the first things I did, actually, hang on, before we get too much into this, let's talk about
Oh
a
yeah,
couple people sent us some stuff just showing us people's friends list. I think this is Fluke Rogi. Just
yeah, it was.
everybody on the friends list playing Half-Life Alyx almost. I mean, everybody. We had to blow
I
these up
get
real
it.
big so you could see them.
I completely get it. I
Greg's
mean,
VR
it's
sent us one as well. It's pretty cool. Just a bunch of people playing, but
look, if you don't own VR, and you're watching this, even just trying to see what it's all about, please do yourself a favor and get this. Get the game, get VR. If you This is the game that will change your mind on VR
oh
if you've
yeah,
even already
absolutely.
played stuff before, because this has everything in it. Everything from puzzles,
Yeah.
exploring, scavenging, sort of building a little bit, not, in your typical ways, but I mean, it's
I mean, you have to use elements to get over to get over things into windows, and I don't know how this gameplay in the background, I think, is like the first maybe 20 minutes of the game that's just going to kind of play through. We wanted to cut it up a little bit more. We ran out of time because we couldn't get out of the game.
I had some cut up, the file was too big. It was just,
Yeah,
yeah.
he couldn't send it over to me.
Yep.
It was kind of crazy. But one of the first things I did, and it'll show coming up, I mean, first, obviously, I went through all of the settings and stuff to see what was in there. One thing so far that I'm very disappointed. Go ahead.
God, yeah, is the smooth turning. There's
Yeah.
none. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the one thing I'm like, okay, it has to be hidden in the snap turning settings, because sometimes if you go through the degrees,
Yeah.
it'll go from like 15, 30, 45, 90, and then maybe smooth, and it wasn't there. So yeah, I couldn't find it either,
Yeah, I
which,
was kind of bummed. This is kind of crazy how it's lining up with the background of the
right?
for a second there.
So
But real quick in chat,
Inception going on.
yeah, Jim
But
Hall is
this part
saying,
right there where you walk out, man.
oh,
Oh,
no, it's fantastic.
sorry,
I mean,
sorry,
I
sorry.
just stood there for a little while taking it all in. I just
So
looked
did I.
around. But Jim Hall is saying it's so good. Fletcher St. Germain so far has absolutely blown me away. VR Spry Guy, yes. Fluke Rogi, same for me. I got an hour to go on the unpack. Lincoln Clay, yeah, it's
Right?
insane. Real quick right here, this kind of blew my mind. not throwing the pail over the edge after this. When I picked up one of these cans, at first I was looking at it, and then I realized that if I squeezed my controllers, I was using index, and if you squeeze the controllers, it actually crushes the can. And that's really cool. I mean, that's another level of some of that, interactivity that we see in the VR games. That's just another level of that. I mean, it is crazy. Really cool.
My favorite part in the beginning, which was the dumbest thing, you'll see it here in a minute, was when you go inside and you're like in that little apartment area where there's a desk and you look out the window and the camcorders are. So there's this little animal in the jar. Did you see that? Like inside that glass thing, and it's got like a little colored nose on it and stuff. Well, did you realize that there was a jar of food there that you could
I couldn't figure out how to feed him. I tried to do that. It didn't work, I don't think.
Oh, it worked. Oh, dude, it climbed up to the top of the thing and was like trying to eat the food out of it. As I was dumping it in, it went down. It like was shoving its face in the ground. It was so cool.
There's so much stuff
things like that.
There's little details that sometimes I'm not even expecting, and I was mad because there was no coffee in that cup, so I had to smash it. But even the glass, like throwing that cup, I threw the cup against the wall and it shattered everywhere. Like,
did you draw on the wall the windows?
Oh yeah. I draw on the windows.
So good, man. it's so bad.
I know. I just honestly, like, this wasn't even entertaining for somebody to watch probably, because all I wanted to do was pick everything up and play with everything and see what did what. And honestly, I probably could have spent more time doing that, except I knew we were trying to go live, pretty soon. And I definitely drew on the windows. I'm very artistic, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, this is what I came here for. Is to watch
I think this is called Picasso's greatest works right there. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh my, and we are going to try to leave spoilers out. That's why we're only showing the beginning portion of this as well, because it's just kind of showing you the controls and stuff. And if you don't want to see what's going on, we'll just keep it to audio, and you shouldn't see anything. But honestly, I feel like no matter who plays this, you're going to get a different experience every single time because of the things that you can do and not do, or just like the crushing the can thing. I had no clue until after Sean and I were talking.
Yeah, I was like,
that was even a thing.
I was like, you didn't crush the can and you didn't pick it up and squeeze it? He's like, no. Like, it was just that was really cool, I thought.
Oh, I'm glad you noticed it though. I mean,
but there's so many things you noticed too that I didn't notice. One of the puzzles, I kind of figured out the puzzle. It took me a long time to figure it out, and that
stuff right there.
Yeah. Dude, it's so huge too. It's just epic. It is. And
that's the other thing. So like the audio that goes along with all of this scares the crap out of me, because you can hear something coming like that and feel it. And we saw videos from, I think it was like IGN had access to it, or I think it was IGN or tested, but where they showed the hands going in the first time. We saw that in the machine, doing all that. But on the index controllers, the vibrations, and I'm sure it works with touch controllers too, but I just felt like those little needles
right here. See,
were
like I was trying shaking it, but it didn't come out. Did you have to open it? Maybe I didn't shake it hard enough. Maybe I didn't.
The top's got like holes in it.
Yeah,
like a pepper
maybe
shaker.
I didn't shake it enough. I was like, that didn't work. But I just wanted to touch everything. But sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Honestly though, there's so many things that are, I'm sure, hidden, and even like picking up the papers and looking at them. Like even this, I looked, like lined up the sights with that hole, and it showed that tower in the background, and I'm sure that means something.
Yeah, there's probably something you can do with it. And there's a lot of hidden stuff. Like, I mean, a lot of the game you're searching, and this starts right from the beginning. You're searching for ammo as soon as you get the gun, and you're searching for, I think it's called polymer, that is used to modify your weapon and all that stuff. And and there was a lot of places that were like little nooks and crannies that I could get my body into, and I actually found more of that polymer and stuff. And there's also some boxes that certain boxes that you can shoot or whatever to break up, and there's ammo in them and stuff. I didn't know how many boxes all to start breaking and waste ammo on, but it didn't seem like in Boneworks how if you throw a box down hard enough, it'll just break. A lot of the boxes didn't seem to do that for me. I'm not sure if that was just me. Here's me trying to get it to smooth turn.
Some of them. Yeah, I think the ones that are like the egg crate ones, the wooden ones that always seem to have stuff in it, those you can throw down. So you brought up Boneworks, and I really want to get into that too a little bit here, just for a second. What do you think about the physics compared to Boneworks? Because I feel like it's 10 times better than Boneworks myself.
When you say physics, what do you mean exactly? Like,
so like with objects, in game. I feel like in Boneworks everything becomes clumsy. It's almost too over the top, I think. I feel like this has this perfect balance to where naturally, when you pick things up and fling them to you, they're easily caught. or, it doesn't catch on objects, or I don't know. I feel like Boneworks went too far with it a little
Yeah.
bit.
So
And I feel like this is perfect. Like, I never had an issue doing anything in here, grabbing a door, pushing something open, grabbing a cabinet, like the grab points or the physics part of it. I don't know what it is, but it works so well.
yeah, for me, I think it's honestly a double-edged sword because in this game you only have hands, you have no body, you have no arms, and all that stuff. Where in Boneworks, you have all of that,
True.
and part of that is what the problem is with the physics in Boneworks, because your limbs and everything else get caught on everything, and that's
Right.
what kind of bugs me. So in this game, I do kind of miss having the arms and the torso. I told them they suck. I wrote a message to them, but they didn't see me down there.
Oh my
But
god. This is what I come back for, is to
yeah.
watch you screwing around in Half-Life Alyx, right? Like, really?
Pretty much, but yeah. So I do still prefer a full body, but I don't think in this game you're really missing anything with
I don't
the
either.
hands. The physics felt really good. I mean, the interactions with doors, the interactions with objects felt really good. I like the fact, and I know we want to get into a little bit about playing this game in VR compared to how you would play it if it was a flat title. And
Right.
one of the things that I absolutely love is I love opening doors and stuff in VR with a gun, and you actually have that full interaction because you can actually grab that door and open it up and sneak around objects, and it's just you can't do that in flat gaming. And that's the
Right.
kind of physics stuff that I really like, is those interactions that I feel like my movement is up to me and how I want to do it. If I want to stick my head out and peek around a corner to see what's out there before my body is out there, you can do that,
Yeah.
and I like that. I love that about VR.
I think for me, the takeaway with, and even comparing it to flat, and, as I'm watching this is a part where I was up on this roof, and I'm sure you'll be up there in a minute, and there's stuff that comes flying over and you hear it and stuff. And those are experiences that, on a flat game, you're just watching it happen. But in this, you're taking it in. I mean,
Mhm.
the game is whatever you want it to be at that point. And that's what I mean by, everyone's going to experience this different, is because you can just go in there and do whatever you want. You're living this game, literally.
Right.
And I feel like that is the biggest takeaway for me, because, everybody has said, I can't believe it's VR only, but you couldn't do this or have this real life experience without VR.
Yeah. I
This
mean,
game would be nothing like it is
and
without
just like
VR.
in these scenes,
Like that
looking
right
out
there.
into the world and stuff. I mean, the vast, it's just so big feeling,
Yep.
the world feels so huge. And that, like you said, the sound design is
Oh,
fantastic. I mean, it adds to the creepiness and all of that, in certain scenes where you just hear things on the other sides of walls and all kinds of
oh
stuff.
yeah.
And I love even this kind of stuff where you have to pull open a hatch door, that you're
Yep.
not, normally on a flat game, you would click a button or something, it would open, but
Right.
you physically have to open this stuff. And
Oh,
I want
that
to
part
talk
right
about
there
this
gave me
part.
chills,
Yeah,
man.
I want to talk
Oh,
about this because they interacted with everything with what I did. So right
yep.
there, like I hit the button to try to close the elevator door again, and he said something and like pointed his gun, and like when I reached out to grab him, he pulled back. Like
Yeah.
same thing with that. And I went to hit the elevator button again, thinking, if I hit it again, nothing's gonna happen. So I hit it again, and he shoots it and says, "Don't hit the," you know what
Oh,
I
that's
mean?
cool.
Like,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
that really
Right.
impressed me because I was expecting, most games like this, when you hit a button or something like that in the animated scene where,
Yeah.
they're talking to you or whatever, they don't react to what you did. They reacted to me. And that really, took me back. And I was like, whoa, that was really, really cool. I was really impressed by that. I love that.
Oh, it
But
does.
yeah.
So gaming science teacher said in chat, and I did want to try this, but we kind of ran out of time. That you can't play it on the Quest, which obviously you can't natively play it on the Quest. But my next experiment is I have this also now installed on another PC that's a lot lower spec.
The old school,
And I do
our
want to
original
try and
VR
run,
PC.
yeah, and I do want to try and run the Quest on a lower spec PC to see how this thing performs. But you know what? I'm actually thinking it's probably going to perform pretty well. I think they're running Source 2 on this whole game, so I think it's very, very well optimized because of that. So I'm really curious to see how it does. I really
Yeah,
am.
I really didn't have any issues, but I have a pretty high spec PC, and I also was recording. So I was messing with some stuff here. I didn't cut all this out. I didn't have time. But one of the things that I can complain about a little bit is the loading times. The loading times are a little bit long. And in VR, I feel like they developers need to find something to do with the loading times of VR, because when you're on a flat game or something and you have a loading screen, there's so many other things you can do. You know, you can look at your phone, you can do whatever else. When you're in VR, you're just staring at blackness. Like, I really wish developers would find something to do with loading time that makes it a little bit it's just not fun to just stare at a black, you know, loading symbol in VR. I don't love that, but I mean, it's not a big complaint. I mean, the game is a huge game, super detailed, that, you know, you're gonna have loading times, and that's just what it is.
But it's long play sessions too, you know, a lot like Boneworks was.
Yeah
that had long loading time,
and it has save. You can save too if you go into the menu. You can save, which is awesome to have right off the bat, because Boneworks didn't have that. So
So Flesher St. Germain in chat said how low spec, and he ran a 1060 with Ryzen 5 with no issues, and that's probably pretty close.
Yeah, is that a 6 gig 1060 or a 3 gig? Because you actually have the 3 gig 1060.
Right, I have the 3
so
gig.
So I'm curious if he's on a 3 gig or a 6 gig, but.
I just really, and I'm sure it will. I mean, I have really no doubt with Source 2. And how it'll run.
Hopefully, I have no idea. But what my plan was before we went live was I wanted to try it on the Quest with Link and the Rift S, because I was playing it on the Index. And my plan got a little bit screwed up because I didn't realize it was going to take me an hour to unpack the thing. So I really didn't get started until 2 o'clock. And then I just didn't want to stop. I didn't want to stop to reset up. I didn't want to switch headsets. I just wanted to keep going. So
I agree.
Yeah. And honestly, if you haven't played this game and you've been in the Steam home environments, this environment right here is one of them that was in the Steam home environments. And graphically, I think it's pretty similar. I mean, it looked, you know, these environments that we saw in the Steam home environment looked pretty similar to what the actual environment did in the game. What did you think?
I would say this is better. I would say
I think it's a little bit better, but it's really close. Like, I mean, I still think that, I mean, the Steam home environments looked exceptional. And this is me totally trying to figure out how to get over the wall, because I had no idea I could like pull back on the stick and teleport. So I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. It told me to follow the drone, and I was like, I don't know how to get over the wall. So I tried climbing it. I tried like running. I was like, I can't jump.
I tried going for the pipe first. That's what I
was like, what? How am I supposed to do this? So finally it told me in game that you pull back on the right stick, and that actually gives you like a teleport function for doing things like these, which I would rather just climb the wall or something than have to. I don't like relying on teleport, but I understand this whole game was built around that. At the same time,
you know, if this is the first game that people are coming into VR for, it's not a horrible thing, because it's not super disorienting. Do I wish they had an option for it? Sure I do.
Yeah.
But it's not a be all end all by any mean.
Right.
And probably my favorite control, which Fletcher St. Germain said 6 gig on his 1060.
So curious to see what 3 gig does.
So my favorite part of control-wise in this game is how you switch between your hand, your gun, and your multi-tool. I got onto that working really, really well. I really enjoy it on the Index. And I don't know how they're going to do it with touch controllers, because it's worked on the trackpad.
I'm guessing you push the stick in probably or something on touch controllers. Somebody that played on touch controllers, you can put it in chat too. But
so naturally, I felt like every time you want your gun quickly, you're going in and drawing up. So if you just quickly push that and draw up, you've got your gun without even trying to do anything. Or if you just touch it and draw down, you've got your multi-tool.
Yeah.
Or if you touch it and don't move, you've got your hand. And I've now gotten to the point where it's just like, boom, quick gun up. You know, if I need to reload, it's grabbing one, throwing it in, and it's really fast. And I really do enjoy it now. It's a different.
I haven't gotten that. I haven't got that feeling yet of that natural movement. I've started to get it down a little bit, but I prefer holsters. Like, I would rather have my gun in a holster, and it's just like, I don't even think about it. Reach down, I grab my gun when I need it. You know, I have stuff in different spots that you learn where they're at. I prefer that method. I don't really love the method of pushing the thing in and then moving your hand to which thing you want to grab. It's not bad.
So next time though, don't move your hand. Just touch it and go up, and you've got it in your hand.
But you moved your hand up, right?
Yeah, but you don't have to, like, the little orbs that pop up?
Yeah.
Don't even worry about those. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, just like kind of.
Yeah, you just touch it and go upward and gun in your hand. That's it. Yeah.
Can we talk about the gravity gloves?
Real quick. Fletcher St. Germain said on touch, push stick in and move your hand in real space. So
that's what I figured. Very similar. So, but the gravity gloves, dude. What did you think about them gravity gloves?
It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Fantastic. I love it.
It just creates like this fun little thing that you do and you get good at, and you feel like you're like have this not superpower, but like
you do,
just amazing.
Superpower.
Like every time
I feel
you're amazing.
That way.
Like You just reach and throw it to you and grab it out of the air.
You just like look at it, flip your wrist, and it's like you're catching it out of there, and you're like, man, I am so awesome right now. It's just you seriously feel superhuman, I think.
Oh, it feels great.
Yeah, it was kind of weird when they were first telling me how to do it. Like they were saying to like point your hand at what you wanted to do, and I'm like trying to Iron Man it. You know, I'm like holding the palm of my hand. I'm like, well, it's not working. Like my superpower is not working. And then I realized you actually just like point at it. But yeah, I mean, it's I just like crushing cans. I just like crushing cans.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to go back in and try that now.
Man, it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, Fluke Rogi. I mean, everyone sounds like they wish it was holsters too, and I do too. I mean, we play a lot of gun games and
that
stuff.
That just feels natural to me. I don't know.
It does. It really does. I know. Put the multi-tool on the left, but see, then you run into the thing with carrying different guns and stuff. So now you've got a pistol, a shotgun, stuff like that. And where do you put all of them? It becomes very tough for people who aren't good.
My pistol's on my hip, my shotgun's on my back, my multi-tool's on my chest over here. I got a syringe on this side. But I think the reason they did it is because you don't have a full body. You don't have your body in there, so it makes it a lot harder to have those spots all over your body when you don't have a body. So I'm sure that's why they did it.
Did you notice right here how the monitor behind is your vision?
No. Where?
You didn't notice that? Oh my gosh.
What monitor?
So the monitor behind him that's there on one of these monitors somewhere.
Oh, so he sees what I see.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't notice. I feel like there's so much.
Too.
I feel like there's so much I didn't notice.
If you go back to see that monitor back there.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. So every time you turn your head and look, it's exactly what you're looking at. See it?
Yeah, I didn't notice that in game.
Weird,
though.
yeah. I feel weird. I kept looking at that.
I feel like there's so much in this game that I didn't realize. Like I really just want to. I mean, the beginning so far has been my favorite part, just because of the exploring and checking everything out, and just I don't know. I mean, the voice acting is good. The character models are insane. So many
creepy feels in this game, the audio and stuff, and everything.
Those
I mean,
freaking head crabs and those the thing that pull I can't think of it now. The little tangly dangly things.
Yeah, from the ceiling. Yeah.
What the heck is that called? I drew a blank.
So I found out a really cool way to get by those. So what are you doing to get past them?
Sneak attack.
Yeah, okay.
That's my favorite way to get around them. They creep me out. Barnacles.
Barnacles. There you go. So I realized it by in one part I had a hat on and stuff and a face mask and all this crap.
I didn't put a face mask on, but I did. I put a hard hat on at one point in time.
So I was like, okay, what really happens with these things if you really get under one?
Right.
So I did it, and it grabbed the face mask off me and ripped it up and took it up. So I'm starting to thinking, I'm like, interesting. So what I found is if I grab a random object and throw it into their little tentacle thing sticking down, it sucks it up, and then you can get past them. So without wasting ammo or anything,
you that's because I don't like wasting ammo. It seems like a lot of the stuff takes a decent amount of ammo to kill too with the pistol. When you just have the pistol, but
I like that though. I feel panicky.
Yeah, here's my Iron Man mode. I'm like, I don't understand why I can't Iron Man this thing
and you could two-hand it too.
The what? The pistol? Yeah.
No, with the gravity gloves.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I was trying it with objects that were hard to pull.
I thought my gravity gloves were broken. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I gotta return these things. They're terrible. They don't work. And I was like,
But that's half the fun in this game. I mean, you could spend 5 minutes just trying to figure it out, and then you get it to work, and it's like, holy crap, this is great.
It still took me a while. I should have edited this out, but yeah. I mean, once you get the hang of it, at first I was like, it's kind of felt a little bit strange, and once you get the hang of it, it's just that quick flip of the wrist, grab it out of the air. I mean, it's fantastic. It kind of makes me a little bit lazy though, because I'm just grabbing everything. I'm like, I don't want to bend over. I don't want to move out of the way. Just grab it.
Jim Hall in chat said maybe should have played on hard. Haven't taken any damage yet. I don't know I think I did once maybe. Yeah. Oh, I did. I know what part I did, where I was standing by a wall and they blew through it and stuff. But
yeah, I think I'm playing. I just did it on regular. I think I didn't know what to expect, so I just left it on regular. Right. I didn't put it on hard. But I don't think there's really been any enemies yet either. I guess on hard, there was some enemies through here. I don't remember.
Right. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I've gotten into huge situations yet. So
yeah,
maybe I won't, but
I'm gotten into some pretty sketchy situations. But I got to where you get the flashlight and all that kind of stuff a little bit past that.
Don't
Yeah,
tilt too.
I'm not, but you do. But in the beginning, I was like, man, I really want a flashlight. So luckily, you
Yeah.
do get a flashlight. Hopefully, that's not too much of a spoiler. But man, did you like take a look at any of the dead zombie guys?
Oh yeah. Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, you can
That one that
interact.
was that first one when you get off the train
Yeah, I
and
think
it's
so.
laying there. Oh my god. And then there was one in the window that I pulled out of the window.
Yeah. I mean, you can
Oh,
totally interact with them like after you kill them or if
so
they're already
weird,
dead.
man.
And but I mean, they're so detailed. Like if you look at them
Yep.
up close, it's like, I mean, the level of detail in this game. I don't think. I mean, I don't think. I can't think of anything that's had this level of detail. Boneworks. I
No.
mean,
No.
Stormland. I mean,
No.
nothing.
Nothing.
I
Nothing.
don't think. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Westworld. Westworld had a
Yeah.
lot of detail.
But like this level, I don't know. Asgard's
Not
Wrath. I mean,
not
it had
not
a lot of detail too.
not
But
this level probably. Just
yeah,
because, this has tons of like playthrough areas and stuff to interact with, and
yeah.
yeah, I mean, right here. Oh, everything. Every time I walk out into a new area like this, I just look around and I'm just like,
I mean, the scope is so big,
awestruck.
like in these areas. Here's where I put the hard hat on. I was like, what? I can put
Oh
this
yeah,
on? I was like, this is fantastic. But I didn't want to keep it on. I thought he should wear
that's horrible.
it. And maybe if he would have had it on to begin with, he wouldn't have turned out like this. But I mean,
Oh, like that
dude,
stuff
it's
there.
so creepy. It
Oh,
is so
oh
creepy.
gosh.
I mean,
But
it's
it's not like I don't feel like it's like a horror movie
no,
yet.
yeah, I don't think so
Like
either. I mean, it's not.
know,
I mean, I've played some horror games that I'm like, I don't even want to play this anymore. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, it terrifies me. And I didn't get that yet from this. There are some dark areas, there's some sketchy areas, and the head crabs, I hate them. And,
Right.
it,
Mm.
but yeah, I haven't got, and I don't know how that's going to end up a little later on through the game. But
Yeah.
Steve XM said, hard is fun, died 3 times so far, only about 2 hours in.
Nice.
Fletcher St. Germain said, I shot every single one of them in the head just to be safe. So the
Right?
ones I was a little
Oh
worried
my
about that.
gosh,
I
I
was like,
know.
are
I
these guys
was
really
too.
dead? Are they coming back? I mean, dude, the
Look at
detail.
oh
I mean,
god.
it's creepy. I mean, it's like,
I
yeah,
know.
gross. It's
It
terrifying.
is too.
But
Yeah, and
yeah.
there's so many parts about this game. Like, look, if you're on the fence, just please get it. Like, that's
Yeah.
all I can say. Like,
Is
and
there
there's
anybody
people
that
that
hasn't gotten this? I mean, that
yeah,
if they have
because
the stuff to play it, is there anybody that hasn't bought this? I mean,
yes, because people said that they don't like horror games, but honestly, I just feel like it's something you need to play, even if you don't like horror games, because it's not all horror. I mean,
no, I mean, there's puzzles. There is
there is, yeah,
exploration. I mean, like right here, I think it was one of the first puzzles I got to.
yep,
And at first, the puzzles are like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And some of the puzzles actually for me, were pretty difficult. But none of them have been that hard, that you couldn't figure
sure.
out. But they are, sometimes it's like, I'm not sure what they are wanting me to do. You know what I mean? But
I'm,
some
I'm
of them
sure
are
they
pretty
get more
easy too.
complex. I
Yeah.
mean, they're not.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of kind of teaching you how
Yeah.
to do it. So,
Yeah.
oh man,
But the
there, and you have
multi-tool
to
is really
draw
cool. Yeah.
Yep,
Yep. And
yep,
once I figured it out, I'm like, oh, okay. But then I was like,
yep.
then I realized you had to switch the gates. Hopefully, we're not giving too much away. We don't have a ton of people in chat, anyways. I'm sure most of the people are actually playing this game right
I
now.
know.
Plus, our live stream stuff isn't getting pushed out. A lot of people aren't getting any notifications. Something's up with YouTube. It's been that way for a couple weeks now, but yeah, this is when I finally
Yep.
figured out. I was like, oh, okay.
Fletcher in
Interesting
chat
thing.
said he's headed back to play too. Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I want to do. It was hard for me to actually get off to get on here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you were texting
But
me and blowing up
man,
my phone. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta shut it off. Like, I gotta.
no.
Yeah, we
But
were
like
definitely a
even
little
these,
late.
put your hands in and stuff. Like there's a
Mhm.
fear in that,
It's
of
creepy.
doing
I mean, you
things.
see all
Like,
those needles like going into your hand, and your hand is out there, and you get that little buzz vibration,
oh
and yeah,
no,
it's
it's
creepy.
so weird.
It's
So
cool.
weird.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fantastic though.
it's definitely. I mean, do you think it's lived up to the hype then at this point? I mean, so far. I mean, I know we haven't played the whole thing, obviously, but
Yes,
do you think it
I
exceeded
think
it? I mean,
I don't know because my expectations were so high to begin with. I mean, my
right?
expectations were like a 12 out of 10.
Sure.
So, but I mean, getting into this game, and we've played so many VR games throughout the years, since VR really came out to consumer grade, and I mean, I've had some wow moments. And especially when it was newer, first getting into VR, it didn't take much to wow you. But now that we've been playing for
Right.
years now, it takes a lot more to really wow you. And this game, yeah, I mean, as soon as I walked out and saw just the vast world and the level of detail on everything, and I mean, I have little complaints here and there, things I would like to see them add. Smooth turning is one I
Sure.
really, really hope they add, down the
Maybe a
road. But
holster.
everybody adds stuff, as it progresses and as it's out a little bit, and
Sure.
they see what people want and all of that. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's lived up to the hype. I mean, I think this game is gonna change the world for VR as far as it's concerned. Yeah.
Yep, I do too. I mean, even for, we play a lot of different games. And I think this game gave me chills 5, 6, 7, 8 times, at least in the first 2 hours. So for that to happen to me is huge in VR. And that's why I've been saying that Westworld was such a good game, because I actually got chills in that game. And I haven't had that for VR for a long time now.
Sinners. Walking Dead Saints and Sinners did that to me too. I still love that game. I mean, this game,
I get it.
The level of polish and stuff in this game is another level, but Walking Dead Saints and Sinners still a blast.
I think for me, Walking Dead, I don't know. It was a little too dark for me because I was playing it on the index.
It is dark.
So I don't know if that took away from some of the creepy factor. I feel like this game has the perfect lighting. And playing that on the index says a lot, because it doesn't have as good of darks, as compared to the Rift S and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like I just take everything in this game, everything.
Yeah, I mean, this is still a dark game, but like you said, it does dark differently than Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. And
there's a lot of ambient light, a lot of shadows.
And it just everything looked. Oh man, that was where you grabbed my magazine. I was like, no, that was the barnacle.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna sneak past them. I'm gonna gravity glove the magazine. And when I did, he snatched it right out of the air. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Usually, if you kill them, I think they drop them then, don't they?
Oh, I don't know.
I think so.
I don't waste a lot of
so much. There's so much good stuff though.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's an excellent game. I mean, I think honestly it lived up to the hype. I think people are going to be talking about this game for a long, long time. I mean, this is going to be a game that's going to be hard to compete with for anyone, I think, for a while. I mean, this sets the bar. The bar has been set, I think, pretty high end of last year and stuff. But man, this to me, this is. Yeah, it's on another level, I think, honestly. I mean, it's crazy.
I do too. I mean, do I wish I could experience it with somebody? Obviously, that's always the case for us. But past that, even the gun mechanics aren't that horrible to me for not being a holster. That's I mean, don't get me wrong. I think
this is where one of them got me, and I was freaking out. I couldn't get the gun reloaded. I was like, man, I'm going to die. I didn't have the speed down because I hadn't been shooting a lot of things yet, you know what I mean? And I did get him, but I was like, oh, that was terrible.
Sometimes they break the glass beside you or break through something, and I'm just, and those are the times where it gives me chills.
I was trying to pick up my old magazines too, make sure they didn't give me any ammo. But Fluke Rogi said on Discord, but the first 15 minutes or so was a 9 out of 10. The following hour or two has been more an 8 out of 10 though. It just hasn't given me the wow moment, but I guess there's plenty of time yet. So, and I know from what I've heard, Fluke Rogi is a hard one to impress. I know he is a pretty hard one to impress at times with certain games, but for him to give it a 9 out of 10 and an 8 out of 10, though, that's still way up there. I mean, it's still really, really good. And I kind of agree. The very beginning is my favorite so far, getting into the game. And then, as I play through, it's still awesome, but that wow factor right in the beginning was what I absolutely loved. But
I feel like maybe that's what he's not liking, but maybe sometimes the storyline slows down.
Yeah.
But to me, it's all in how you play the game. If you don't explore and you sprint through the game, it's going to progress through the storyline the whole bit. But I get so sidetracked looking for things, looking through things.
Under the building and I found some stuff. I was like, sweet. Yeah, that's what I do. I like to explore. Yeah, I like to explore and look all around and see what I can find. But yeah, so far, I mean, I really, really like it. But
I know. Just the epic moments with the sound and the visuals and stuff are just on a massive scale to me. I just love it.
The one thing
exploring.
The one thing I think it could make it 10 times better, and I'll say this about everything, is some sort of multiplayer co-op aspect. If I could search through this stuff and experience this world with somebody else and the excitement of being with somebody and being like, dude, look what I found. Did you see this? Like, check this out. Even finding out you can crush the can, some of the puzzles to share it with each other is just, man, it would be so cool.
Did you open the seat?
Dude, I had to see if there was ammo or anything in there. Are you kidding me?
I did too.
You're lucky I didn't stick my head in there. I thought about it.
Right? Stick your arm down in there.
I mean, it was, I had to see. I mean, you never know what could be in there.
Nasty.
I mean, it's worth it. Oh, we got gamer tag in here too. I am curious. Man. I know everybody has been streaming the game today, and I haven't watched anybody's live stream yet because I wanted to see it for myself. But I am curious to see what other people have thought. A bunch of people already gave us their opinions in the beginning. I'm curious to see what GT thought. He's one of our buddies and helps us out all the time. I'm
Yeah,
curious to
and
see what
Fluke
he
makes
thinks
a good
too.
point too. There is no
Oh, I
runoff.
did want to talk about that. Yeah.
I don't know if I haven't found it a deal breaker. There's been a handful of times where I go to try and run because I'm across from where I need to be. But I don't know. I just feel like I get so caught up in the visuals that I'm like, okay, I'll walk it,
Yeah, it's not terrible. I prefer a sprint. I mean,
Sure.
I have tried to use it multiple times. I'm like, dang it, I have no sprint. You can do like the pulling back on the stick to do like a teleport kind of thing, and you can speed up some stuff if you do that a little bit. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a sprint, even if it's just. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a crazy fast sprint, but just a little bit of sprint, a little bit of a faster movement just gives you that kind of feeling like you're getting through something. I mean, I don't know. It's not that I want to rush through it, but I just I don't know. I'm just so used to being able to do some kind of sprint. And at first I was like, oh man, my index controller really is broken. Like I'm clicking the stick and I'm not running. Something's wrong. But yeah, so Gamertag saying notification still didn't go out, but could only find it on your channel. Yeah, I don't know what's up with YouTube. I know GT said he was having the same problem because like there was live streams. I mean, he does his show on Sunday, which was yesterday. I never saw anything. It never shows up. I go to subscriptions. There's nothing there. Like the only way I see people's stuff is to go to their channel and go to videos. I don't know what's going on. It's super annoying. He said no smooth turning with a question mark. And yeah, we did talk about that. That's kind of a bummer. That's one thing I really hope they add pretty soon is the smooth turning because I don't like snap turning at all. But so Fluke Rogi said there's an option to disable click turning, but it doesn't do anything. It appears the option is broken. Yeah, I messed with that too, and I didn't know. I was like, I don't understand what the difference is, but yeah, I don't know. But I mean, those are small
I don't
things.
have too many complaints, man. There's a lot of moments in this game that I think are really cool experiences to live, like that. The guy in that cave that's down under there after you get through that one puzzle you and I were talking about, where you push all the buttons and stuff. That guy's awesome. I love that guy, man. That guy's great.
That was all I wanted to show. I recorded like over an hour, but I was like, if I show like the first 20 minutes, I'm not giving away too much or anything like that. So I didn't want to give away a ton, but man, yeah. What do you think this game would be? I mean, so the reason Valve made this game in VR is because they like to push the boundaries of what's possible and all of that stuff. And to me, I think putting this in VR has completely done that. I mean, this game experienced on a flat screen would, I'm sure, be cool. It would be super popular. All the flat gamers would be playing it and hyped about it. But man, in VR, this is just.
I'm glad. I understand completely why they did it. I would be very curious to ask them whether or not they actually started development of this game for VR only. When it went on the drawing board, was it just to be made, or were they actually going for VR? Because it's unbelievable to be in this in VR. And I don't think there would be any other amazing way to experience this. I really don't. I can't say it enough that I think what it's doing for the VR community is great. But then, on the other side, you've got stuff like that. What was it? The Engadget interview? Was it Engadget?
Yeah.
That was basically blasting Valve.
Well, it wasn't an interview, but just they were saying they're not consumer friendly and all that stuff.
Right. And kind of picking it apart and Valve and the game and stuff. And it's funny because I think at the time of this or earlier even today, what did I say? There was 12,000 dislikes on it and like
that was
1,000 likes. So I feel like this is the progression of time. Like 5 years from now, everyone's going to say this was their first experience or they got into VR because of this. So I don't think, they're crazy. I think they're geniuses for doing it, truthfully.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine the first time we ever went into VR for the first time ever? Imagine somebody that went into this game as the first VR game they have ever played. I mean, ever played. Can you, that would absolutely blow my mind. I can't even imagine because of the games we were playing when we first went into VR, and they blew our minds, and we were absolutely
the first things we did in VR were like this area with the radio, and that's like it. Like we just had a couple things to play with, and it was amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nowhere near the level of picking up stuff and interacting with things and the detail. I mean, the graphics were not this good in 2016 in VR. I mean, they just weren't. But Yeah, it's just, and I did, you saw a minute ago, I did try to stick my head through the wall because that was one of the things you could do in the Steam home environments. You could stick your head through everything to see what was inside on the other side. And I wanted to see if that was possible in the actual game, and it wasn't. They definitely blocked you from sticking your head, but it was worth a shot. I mean, it was worth a shot. So
it's so good. And honestly, if you don't want to buy an index, you don't have to have an index to play this game either. Any headset would be amazing. Just experience this.
I don't think you're really missing anything. I think the biggest thing, if you play this on another headset like the Rift S or the Quest with Link or something, the main thing I think you're going to be missing is the audio. So
audio and field of view.
Yeah, field of view. But if you have a really good set of headphones or something like that you use, a deluxe audio strap, whatever, I think that you're not missing a whole lot. But that is the one thing. The audio is fantastic, especially with the index. The controllers, I mean, the index controllers to me are here nor there. I honestly prefer the touch controllers. I haven't played this on touch yet. I've only played it on the index. But I mean, the index controllers are they're cool. I mean, some people love them. I think they're okay. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think you're going to be missing a lot.
I don't think it's a deal breaker. It's not like one of those things you have to have it. Do I think it plays amazing on it? Absolutely. The colors are great on it. I mean, they developed on it, I'm sure. So it's definitely.
You can even turn the lights on and off. I flipped the light switch and the lights went on and off. Yep. I mean,
But even like the elevator buttons, I was hitting with the side of my hand, slamming them instead of pushing them, and it's so cool. All the interactions that you can do. This stuff. Yeah. That is the creepiest.
Oh man,
when
awesome.
You watch those movies, I'm trying to think of what that movie was. I think Tom Cruise was in it. Oh yeah, it was War of the Worlds, I think, the new one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where they have that scene where they're going over that hill and there's all these big things like that, walking and stuff. I feel like I was there. I mean, that's what that felt like to me.
Yeah.
Sure. And we're not trying to give away any spoilers. We're only showing. Beginning video.
Jim Hall said, "Don't understand who would want to spoil the game by watching streamers," and I couldn't do it. I know some people, maybe people that aren't gonna play it or don't have the means to play it, I can understand, but I couldn't watch anything beforehand. As soon as 1 o'clock came, all this stuff came out from tested, all these playthroughs. I think there was even something from Upload talking about explaining the ending of the game or something. It was on their website. I couldn't click it. I was like, if they're explaining the end of the game, why in the world would I want to click that? I don't want to know anything about that. And they were saying what does this mean for the future of Half-Life and all that stuff? Just crazy. I don't know why you'd want to know that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to watch any spoilers. Airman929565 said, "I have a feeling this is going to hurt a lot of indie games." And I think, honestly, to me, the end of last year, we talked about it setting the bar so high for what a VR game is that it is tough for indie developers. But I think there's still a lot of things that can be done, games that haven't been made yet for VR that indie developers can really take advantage of. I mean, look at Beat Saber. I mean, Beat Saber is not a complicated, super high fidelity graphic game, very basic principle, and it's still one of the biggest games ever. So I think that if somebody's trying to make a game like this as an indie developer, for sure. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to compete with something like this, but I do think there's an untapped market in VR that still hasn't been exposed yet, that maybe people like, Beat Games and stuff making Beat Saber and stuff like that. I think there's still potential there, but I definitely think it's going to hurt. Steve XM says plays amazing on Rift S. So
nice. Yeah. So what do you think about price point? Do you think I think it's worth every penny for sure.
Yeah. I got it for free.
Well, right.
Only because I had an index and a lot of other people do
exactly.
Too,
but I mean, that $60 price point.
Is that what it costs?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it? I didn't even know what the price was, to be honest. I never
because
paid
it was
attention.
on sale. Pre-sale was 10% off. It was $53, I think.
Oh, $60. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I coming from playing Xbox back in the day where you paid $60 for every game. Yeah, I think this is worth it.
And I talked about it on Coffee and VR too, that I felt like this was going to be the Halo of Xbox, back in the day, the original Xbox, the original Halo. And I think, honestly, this probably is for me. It wasn't my first experience in VR, but for anybody who it would be, it absolutely would be like that all over again.
Yeah.
It's that good. It's that much fun. I mean, just
awesome.
Visually to look at all this stuff. I want to get back into this thing so bad.
Anne said, sure, it was free. Same thinking as me. And she did ask about spoilers too. And we're showing the first maybe 20 minutes or so of the game. And a lot of that is just me kind of exploring and messing with stuff. So hopefully there's not too much spoilers in there. We're not going to give away too much. No. We both played for a couple hours and, we don't want to give away any spoilers because everybody needs to experience this for themselves. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, but price point, I mean, if I wouldn't have got it for free, I would have bought it for $60 for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. And Commander, yeah, did you see that? Commander
Yeah.
555.
How are you guys not playing right now? Trust me,
Yep.
we were late. We were trying to start at 4:30. Tyler was blowing up my phone because I was still in the game, and I was like, I don't want to stop. So yeah, it's
Mine
fantastic.
didn't take too terribly long to unpack. I think I was about yeah, it was probably a half hour by the time.
You had a jump start too.
I did.
And it seemed like the people that were a little bit later. Mine took about an hour to unpack, and it was the
Right.
worst hour of my entire life. That was terrible. So I know a lot of other people had that. I know people were saying stuff on Twitter and everything else about how long it took to unpack. So I don't know, in the future, I might not even pre-download it. I might just wait until,
Right.
because it didn't seem to benefit me any really pre-downloading. I mean, the download time took me like 10 minutes or something like that when I originally downloaded the, whatever it was, 48 gigs or whatever. But yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I totally get that. I know.
She said, Ann said, we have to go to bed in an hour. So better not start it. Yeah, if you start this now and you got to be done in an hour, you're not going to want to stop. I guarantee you, you're not going to want to stop. So I am really, it's going to be an interesting week, you know, especially with so much stuff being closed down and everything right now. It's going to be an interesting week to see, you know, people are going to be playing this thing like crazy. I mean, looking at the VR LFG numbers and stuff, people are going to be playing this like crazy, and it's going to be interesting to see everybody's take. And honestly, I think it's going to be interesting to see what me and you even have to say about this by the time Saturday comes and we do our next Coffee and VR show. Because right now, we just came out of the game. We've been waiting for this for so long, so we're super hyped about it. A few very little complaints, but we absolutely love it. Is that going to be the same way in a week after we play this and we're not so hyped? I don't know. I mean,
there's not going to be, I mean, a lot of, I mean, I guess there could be replay value. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's no, you know, creative mode. There's no multiplayer. Holy number of players.
What's it at right now?
That can't be right.
Is this VR LFG? What is it?
Yeah, VR LFG. Half-Life ALYX. 32,000 people.
What? No way. I don't know if I've ever seen a number that big before.
No, never.
Man,
I've never seen
that is
one that big.
Insane. 32,000
Beat Saber
people.
has 2,000, and all those people playing Beat Saber are missing out right now because, whew, man.
That's crazy. I can't imagine anybody's playing any other games right now. But
well, right, exactly. Yeah. I really can't either. But 32,000, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Oh man, seeing all this, I want to get back in and play.
Yeah, I know. I really did. The beginning of the game is fantastic. I really loved it. So, but like I said, I'm curious to see what we think about it. You know, a little while down the road, I'm curious to see what the playthrough time of the game is going to be. I don't know if anybody's put it out there what the length around about, you know, is this 5, 10, 12-hour game? What is it? I don't know. And it's going to be different for everybody, but I am curious about that. And I'm also curious about what they're going to do adding stuff to the game afterwards. Because, I mean, they have to keep adding things or missions or something. I don't know, because, I mean, I think this game could live on for a long, long time, especially if there ends up being, you know, if they put out the source code and all that stuff or whatever for people to be able to mod it and stuff down the road. And I've heard a couple different things. I heard originally they said they weren't going to, and then I heard originally that they were going to possibly down the road. And then I've heard other people say that they were going to put it out. So I don't know, but yeah.
I hope they do. And I'm sure eventually they will, but
yeah. So gaming science teacher said Quest and PSVR players slashing blocks right now.
All hate, all just angry that they can't play it probably.
And Commander said it was over 35,000 before.
Yeah,
so
that's
man.
Nuts.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
Fluke Rogie said, wow, 32,000, that's mental. It really is. I've never seen numbers that big before.
No.
I don't think I've ever. I mean, Beat Saber for a long time is always the biggest. No,
when Boneworks came out, it was a lot, but not like that.
Not 32,000.
Nope. That's awesome.
Absolutely insane. But yeah, I mean, that's our early impressions. I mean, that's what we think of it so far. I mean, to me, honestly, I've been blown away. Only real issues. I really hope they add smooth turning. I really want smooth turning instead of snap turning. I would really love to see developers do something about loading times other than just like a black screen with a couple words. I would love to see some kind of innovation come in that department, because I don't like loading screens. But I also
maybe some climbing too.
Some climbing. You can climb.
Yeah, but not really. Not like climbing mechanics. Climbing on ladders, yes.
Yeah, you can only
like to
climb
get over
ladders.
a wall or something.
Yeah.
I really prefer being able to either
agree.
pull or hoist or something. You know,
I would like the climbing of everything kind of mentality, or at least walls and stuff like that, ledges. I would like to see that added, and the ability to jump. So if it's a little bit high of a ledge, I can hit a jump button, grab onto it. I don't love the teleport mechanic that's still there to get over some things. It's not horrible, but it's not my favorite.
Right.
So
Gaming science teacher just said Half-Life is number 3 on Twitch right now.
is that like number 3 out of everything?
Yeah, I think so.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm assuming. But yeah.
VR Spry guy said MAME fan 12 hours, Anthony 35. I'm probably more in the 35 range too sometimes. And sometimes it takes me a while to get through some games, but yeah. 255,000 viewers. Man, that's
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the big tipping point for VR. This could be the one game that really, I mean, opens everybody's eyes, opens all the big people, Rockstar, you know, all those people. I mean, can you imagine this kind of graphic fidelity and stuff of a GTA kind of a game? I mean, oh my goodness, it's just, this hopefully pushes everybody to that point that they realize, like, this isn't going anywhere. This is where the true innovation is going to happen, because the flat gaming world, what else can they do? I mean, they're pretty much tapped out of what the potential of new things they can do for
another free to play, and, you know, one of those. They're out of ideas, they're out of stuff, and I'm sure there'll be something, don't get me wrong, there always is, but this is a totally different experience.
All they can do is keep making the graphics like minusculely better, and it's like, what do you need that for? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
but this
eventually they just look real, but who really wants something to look 100% real? It just gets too real life, you know. So
who wants something to look 100% real when you're not in the game? You're just looking at it on a flat screen. If it wants to be 100% real in VR, sweet, but on a flat screen, it's like, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter really what it looks like.
The people who hate VR or think they hate VR, but they'll all be over. They'll all be over at some point. It's all right, man.
Yeah, for sure. And if you didn't see the beginning part, this is where I couldn't figure out how to get over the wall, because I didn't realize there was a teleport function still, and I was like, I don't know how to follow the thing. I can't get over there, so this is me kind of looking like an idiot. This is why sometimes in games it takes me a little longer too, because I'm like trying to figure stupid stuff out like this.
The puzzles though are awesome, man. The floating cardboard stuff, so cool.
Yeah, I love the gloves.
That gave me the feels right there, man. The
gloves are one of my favorite things. But yeah, so I mean, we said we didn't want to go like crazy long. We just wanted to give some some first impressions, talk about the game. We will definitely be back Saturday for Coffee and VR. I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit more, because that's going to be all the hype. Everything's going to be foreshadowed now by Half-Life ALYX for a little while. It's going to be really tough for games coming out to get the attention pulled away from Half-Life ALYX, I think. But is there anything else you really wanted to say about the game? What your thoughts or anything?
No, I was literally awestruck. I mean, if you were to watch my video and stuff, I mean, half the time I'm just standing around looking at everything. I mean, it's just that beautiful of a game.
Yeah.
And I really encourage everybody to try it that has physically can or get to a VR headset. Please do yourself a favor and try it.
Yeah.
And really.
Graphically, the game is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, honestly, this is some of the best graphics I have ever seen in VR. I can't think of anything I've seen that looks better than this.
I haven't even seen like one visual glitch, I don't think even.
No? I mean, I had a couple little, but it was probably performance stuff because I was recording, and for some reason with my PC when I'm recording, and I got the green screen and all that stuff, every once in a while I get a little hiccup here and there, but I'm sure it wasn't anything very noticeable. I'm sure without that it would have been perfectly fine, but yeah, and I just like throwing stuff.
I know, it's so good. But we do appreciate everybody, who helps us push our links and stuff out, especially right now.
Since everything's jacked up.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. So we really do appreciate that. And we really do hope you guys subscribe and keep in contact. The notifications seem to be working for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's only if you have the bell button hit. I think that is one thing that YouTube said as well, is that it helps if people hit the bell button. But I mean, the live streams just aren't showing up in people's feed unless they go to the channel. It's kind of weird. So whatever. Well, I mean, I'm sure it'll get figured out. Ann said, what's written on that T-shirt? I guess she's talking about your T-shirt. It says VR gamer, a person who,
I don't know if I can get
a person who has realized that actual reality is too boring. That's awesome.
I had to, man. I had to. This game is the epitome of VR gaming to me, and it definitely lived up the hype. I think it did. I think it lived up to everything that I thought it was going to be, and probably more, way more. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know. I still got to work this week. I'm hoping we get shut down. We're not shut down at this point. I'm in Virginia, and right now the only thing that's closed is pretty much the schools, gathering things over a certain amount of people and restaurants and all that stuff. But yes, I don't know. You off all week?
No.
Okay.
Maybe, but maybe not. Yeah. It's hard because they are kind of putting everybody into quarantine, which there was a chapter in this game that said something about quarantine. And I'm like, so is this the COVID?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
what
Did they
is
know
this?
about this and the
Right,
release date? They had this all planned
right.
out. I don't know.
Good publicity,
But
right?
yeah, I mean, it's a great time to launch a game like this because people are going to be playing it like crazy. And I'm sure people have probably bought this game that weren't even thinking about buying it because they
Sure.
have the time to play it now. So yeah,
Right.
it's awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, we appreciate everybody being here, even though maybe the notifications are messed up. But man, we will be back on Saturday morning. Tyler
will be
is back.
back.
They've
I
let
will
him.
be.
They've let
Yep.
him out of quarantine. He picked the lock and got out and fled.
Bad,
So.
man. They chased me too.
I had to
Bad
tell
news.
everybody at the beginning of last show because people were starting to get worried. The people I know, but seriously, is he okay? Like, so I had to, But somebody did request, I think, in the first stream with GT and Gaming Science Teacher, somebody told me in the chat that somebody requested a T-shirt with your face on the milk carton that went out there. So we may have to do something like that. So,
That could be bad.
oh man,
You can find me in VR.
yeah. So Jim Hall said the best is yet to be seen. So he said should get better as the game progresses. So best is yet to be seen. I
can't wait.
Hope so yeah,
I really can't
awesome.
wait. I want to get to that tower. I know I'm headed that direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so cool. The
Yeah,
walls. It's so good.
Fantastic.
We're trying not to give away spoilers. There's so much I really would like to talk about. Maybe we'll dive into a little bit of that on Saturday.
We might be able to get a little bit more deeper into it by Saturday because so many people
Yep.
will have played. So the spoiler stuff won't be as bad. I mean, the game just came out, a couple hours ago. So yeah.
It wouldn't do it to you. So
yeah. But awesome. Thanks so much for being here. And I mean, I know everybody's just gonna be hopping back into Half-Life Alyx. I'm sure we are too. So yep, I gotta eat some dinner and then
32,000.
Yep.
That's crazy. Just playing it and 250 some watching.
It's insane.
On Twitch. That's awesome.
Insane.
Really cool.
Yep.
But we appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for spreading the word and spreading our channel. We'll catch you on Saturday. I think that's our next. And keep an eye out during the week.
More
I know
videos
we
might
got some other videos.
pop out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
We got a couple of things we need to finish still from PAX even, but
I know.
It's been busy.
Crazy.
But all right.
Yep.
Later, everybody. Thanks so much
Later,
again.
guys.
See ya.
Back to Half-Life.
Yep, later.